everybody. Happy Friday and welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Sinead DeFries, and this is The Daily Show, where we bring you the latest news from the world of movies, plus some insight into what it all means. Joining us this morning is Editor-in-Chief for AMC Movie News, John Campea.
Well, greetings and the most heartfelt salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, coming to you live from right here, sadly for the last time, at the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California, and we are doubly and extra specially glad that you made us part of your day.
Also, here's AMC Production Manager Dennis Sen.
It's Friday, and it's still a lot of work to be done.
Much work to be done today.
And AMC's Mark Ellis.
I don't plan on doing any work for the rest of today.
And the lovely Alicia Malone.
And I can't wait to come and see the finished product. You guys finished it. Sorry.
Hey, listen, guys, before anything else, Dennis was talking about the studio. I've literally been at the new studio this morning since 6 o'clock, and therefore I have been completely unplugged. I walked into the studio a little while ago, and Dennis and Alicia asked me if I plan on talking about Leonard Nimoy, and my heart just sank because I mean, obviously he was hospitalized yesterday. My heart sank, and I said, why? Why do we need to talk about Leonard Nimoy? And they mentioned just at about 9:30 this morning.
I don't know the exact time,
Roughly
but this morning.
It was announced that Leonard Nimoy has passed away. Leonard Nimoy will obviously most of all be remembered and thought of in terms of Star Trek and of course playing Mr. Spock, and well he should. He became literally a pop culture icon that has endured for decade after decade after decade, and how many people, no matter how big they have been, can claim something like that. He not only was an actor, but he directed probably arguably the best of the Star Trek movies himself. But you know what, I think one of my favorite films he directed was Three Men and a Baby.
I know, which I always forget he did.
A lot of people forget he directed Three Men and a Baby, and he was so great. But my favorite memory of Leonard Nimoy was going back a number of years ago while I was still living in Canada. I went to the Toronto Fan Expo, and me and only 3 other outlets had a chance to actually go in and sit down and talk with William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy as they were doing a panel together, just talking about things and reminiscing. And first of all, the panel was by far the funniest, most entertaining panel I have ever sat on, ever. Shatner and Nimoy had everybody in total stitches from top to bottom. From Shatner repeatedly talking about having to iron his own clothes and stopping and saying, wait a minute, I'm William Shatner, damn it, to Leonard. And one of the greatest moments, though, of that conversation was a question came out of the audience about, there were rumors, not just rumors, it had been confirmed that J.J. Abrams was going to do a new Star Trek movie. And so somebody asked them and said, is there any chance you guys could be in there? And William Shatner answered first. He goes, you know, I'm attached to this character forever. I love this franchise. I think JJ's a great director. And, you know, if we have a chance to talk about it, it'll be great. At which point, best moment of the night, Leonard Nimoy turns to him and says, I talked to JJ yesterday. And just the whole place erupted. Shatner's, what? I have a feeling Shatner already knew that. And then I had a chance to go behind scenes and sit down and talk with the two of them. And Shatner just struck me as one of the most down-to-earth, just completely grounded, personable people. Because William Shatner, very aware that he was a big star and what his place is in history. Leonard Nimoy came across as the guy who just delivered his lunch. Not that Shatner treated him like that, but Nimoy carried himself like that. Like, hey, I'm nobody special. And I'm amazed that you want to sit here and talk to me. And that's the type of vibe that the dude came off. Yeah. You gotta understand, I just found out he died like literally about 10 minutes ago, so I'm kind of shaken by this.
Can we do the Vulcan salute?
Oh, who can do it?
Oh, yeah.
See, I did it wrong. I instantly did
I can do it with one hand. The other hand gets a little wonky, but the right hand, I can right-handedly say live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. So with that all being said, let's get on to the first topic.
It looks like the much-talked-about Blade Runner sequel is finally coming together. Yesterday, it was announced that Harrison Ford was signed on to reprise his role as Rick Deckard. Ridley Scott would be an executive producer, and Denis Villeneuve, whose 2010 film Incendies was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film, is in negotiations to direct. The movie will start shooting during the summer of 2016, and the story will take place decades after the original. John, what do you think of this news?
Well, I mean, first of all, obviously the biggest part of this news is that they went out and got a good Canadian director to direct. I think that's a very important thing. But it's always funny, though, when I hear best foreign language film and it's from Canada. So obviously Denis is French-Canadian. Other than that, I don't care. I mean, it's
yeah,
this
you're
is
not a fan.
exactly. It's one of those things. Look, I do not say what I think is popular. I don't care if people aren't going to like what I have to say. And this is one of those things. I wish I liked Blade Runner. Like, I wish I golfed so I could hang out with the guys. Because I can't. They go golfing, I gotta stay at home. Because I just don't golf. And I wish I could be cool like everybody else when they start talking about their love of Blade Runner, and I wanna like it so much. But no matter how many times I've tried to watch it, I've always found it boring and bland. But people far more intelligent than me love this film. It is interesting to see Harrison Ford going through a Vin Diesel, Sylvester Stallone complex a little bit, where both of those guys had big hit franchises, got away from them, find out they didn't succeed at anything else they did, and then eventually came back to the franchises. Harrison Ford wants to come back as Indy again. He's obviously back as Han Solo, which we're all very glad about, and now he wants to come back to this, which is actually brilliant. I don't mean that disparagingly at all. That's brilliant on his part. This is great, because he's had a lot of films that have just been terrible the last 10 years or so. So I wish I could be more excited about this, but I just can't. I'm sure, though, that will be compensated for by the rest of the opinions on the table. Dennis, what did you think?
I'm actually on two sides of this. I didn't love Blade Runner like everyone else does, like you're talking about, but I did like it and I enjoy it. It's kind of one of those movies that are like a science fiction like classic.
Royalty.
Royalty, much like, I mean, maybe shock you guys. 2001, I don't think, like, I like 2001, but that wasn't like a sci-fi classic for me.
Them's fighting words.
Yeah, for me, the narratives of both of those movies didn't grab me. However, I am actually excited to see this because of Denis Villeneuve, if that's how you pronounce it. I love Prisoners, and I think him taking on this story of a dystopian future, and it's kind of like a film noir set in a dystopian future. Yeah. I think him taking it on, I think it's actually going to be really, really good. I think Harrison Ford is actually excited for it, because I think Harrison Ford with Star Wars, I think that was more of a obligation to the fans, but I think this one he actually cares about.
Yeah.
Alicia?
I'm really excited about this. You know, I never say the popular thing either, but I love Blade Runner, particularly when they took out the narration. I thought it got a lot better as the director's cuts came along. I'm glad that Ridley Scott's not coming back for this, and I'm so excited about Villeneuve getting a big shot like this, because Incendies and then Prisoners and Enemy. And I remember seeing Prisoners and Enemy both at the Toronto Film Festival.
Not many people talk about Enemy. It was so
yeah,
good.
and they were so different from each other, but Prisoners shows how dark he can be and the tension that bubbles throughout that film. Like, I didn't want to go and pee and I almost hurt myself because I didn't want to miss anything on screen. And then Enemy has that sci-fi bent to it, also very dark and weird at the same time. So I think he's the perfect choice. I'm so excited. And great that Harrison Ford said it's the best thing he's read in a long time. It's exciting.
Yeah, okay, so John doesn't like Blade Runner. Dennis likes it. Alicia loves it. I've never seen the movie, so we have four very different opinions at this table. Why I'm excited for this sequel is, like the point you guys are making, the director, when I saw Enemy, when I saw Prisoners, I'm like, I want to see what this guy can do in a science fiction universe. He can make a dark, brooding, a film noir style movie. That's the most intriguing part of this premise. What I also like is that Harrison Ford and Ridley Scott are back. Ridley Scott is just an executive producer, but I like when franchises do this, when they say, hey, you know what, the guy who created some of this lore, he doesn't necessarily need to be in the director's chair, but he can guide the way, it's his vision meshing with the new directors. I think that's the way to do these things.
Yeah.
All right, what's
and
next?
Gyllenhaal.
Our very first look at the upcoming John M. Chu-directed Gem and the Holograms movie has come in the way of this photo. The movie is based on the popular 1980s cartoon about a businesswoman named Jerrica Benton who lives a secret double life as Gem, a hugely popular music star. In this live-action version, Aubrey Peoples stars as Gem, along with Stephanie Scott, Haley Kiyoko, Ryan Guzman, Juliette Lewis, and Molly Ringwald. Gem and the Holograms opens in AMC theaters on October 23rd. Mark, what do you think of this first look at Gem and the Holograms?
Look, anytime I see a keytar on stage, I'm gonna get excited. I've never heard of this before. I was never aware that this was a thing until this morning. This sounds cool. This sounds exciting to me. It's not necessarily my kind of movie, but I think I'm gonna be pleasantly surprised when I see this film.
Dear God, that looks stupid. That's stupid. You left He-Man for this? You dropped Masters of the Universe for this? Really? This looks I got nothing else to add. Look, that's just a picture, right? This movie could end up being an Academy Award nominated film for all we know. It might be awesome. But look, I'm not excited about Chu as a director. I did not like what he did with G.I. Joe. I was curious to see what he did could do with He-Man, but then that got derailed. But it was just so fun. I still remember the day that it announced that he was leaving He-Man and gonna go do Gem and the Holograms. Like, really? Okay. But this is a great picture that really sets up the example that 100% true to the source material is not always a good thing. Anyway, Alicia.
This feels like something I should be excited about, but I couldn't care less. I never watched Gem and the Holograms. I know that it is a popular show and people really enjoyed it, and I'm sure a lot of people are super excited to see this image, but I'm like, I don't care, and it does look stupid. I'm only excited about Molly Ringwald.
Actually, that was pretty curious when I heard she was going to be in there.
That's cool.
That was curious.
I'm actually semi-interested in seeing this movie just because it was a show. It wasn't as big as Transformers or G.I. Joe, but my sister used to watch it, and I used to watch it with her. And actually, this picture, though, is not very good. It looks like it could have been off of the Disney Channel, like a TV show off the Disney Channel, which coincidentally, Hannah Montana with Miley Cyrus was basically a ripoff of Gem and the Holograms.
Right.
The whole dual life thing. But I like G.I. Joe 2 or whatever was it, Retaliation, so I'm going to give John M. Chu the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to be kind of interested to see this.
I will say this for it, though. When talking about G.I. Joe, Transformers, even Masters of the Universe, we've had a lot of movie properties, past and in the future coming up, that are targeted at male nostalgia from that time period. I will at least say this. It is kind of interesting and cool that they're taking a female slant on this for shows that girls would have been watching in the 80s, and maybe can have the same type of effect. We'll see how it turns out. All right. We've reached that part of the show for buy and sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Sinead's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, and then those of us at the table are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Sinead, what do we got?
A new trailer for Noah Baumbach's upcoming movie While We're Young has been released. The film stars Ben Stiller and Naomi Watts as a happily married, middle-aged couple that meet a younger, free-spirited couple played by Adam Driver and Amanda Seyfried and decide to ditch their fellow middle-aged friends for the 20-year their junior couple. Alicia, buy or sell this trailer?
I buy. This looks so good. This movie's been on my radar for a long time. I love Noah Baumbach. I loved Squid and the Whale and Francis Ha. And I think he's so good at analysing relationships while at the same time adding a lot of emotion to it. And this premise, I think everyone can relate to it no matter what age you are, because you always feel like you're getting out of touch with the young people and you want to tap back into that younger spirit. Great cast. The only thing I didn't like about the trailer was the fact that it seemed to give away a lot. Seemed to tell pretty much the whole story. You can see beat by beat where it's going to go. But some really funny moments in there, and Eye of the Tiger, anytime that's in a trailer,
Christian?
pretty awesome.
Christian. Mark?
They're the same person.
It's the same person. You're
We really
interchangeable,
are
really.
the same person. Yeah. Well, let's see. I've already said I haven't seen Blade Runner, and I like Gem and the Hologram. So how can I dig myself into a deeper hole on the show? I am gonna sell this because it's just I like Ben Stiller, I like Naomi Watts, and I think that they can be that couple that's grounded in a film like this. The trailer just didn't do anything for me, and when I see movies like this, when it's couples versus couples or couples liking couples, I just don't like hanging out with couples in real life. So it just doesn't seem like my kind of movie. I'm sure that I'll be in the theater and I'll enjoy it, but as far as buy or sell goes, I can't buy this off the trailer.
Dennis?
I'm going to buy it. I thought the trailer was nice and fun. It's a slight variation of the normal. We usually see either a single guy or a single girl who either hangs out or dates a younger person. We just saw another indie film, Lynn Shelton's Laggies,
yeah.
where Keira Knightley's hanging out with Chloe Grace Moretz. So this is a different take because it's a couple and another couple. The only thing, Adam Driver, he's playing the same character again. That's the only thing. It's like, come on, you got to do something else. Hopefully Star Wars will change my mind.
I'm going to, by a hair, I'm going to buy this because I'm with you. The trailer didn't do a lot for me. Like some of the parts in the trailer were supposed to be funny. I didn't find I was laughing at, but I find that the premise is so interesting and unexplored at this point. Like older couple, younger couple. That's kind of a neat thing. I like Ben Stiller in these types of films, especially that explore like more complex relationships.
Yeah.
I think he's really good in the stuff. It's a good, solid cast. I'm curious to see a lot more from all of them and how they're going to have their chemistry together. So on that basis, just by a bit, I'm going to buy it. All right, what's next?
Deadline is reporting that Boardwalk Empire star Jack Huston is being looked at for the lead role in the Crow remake. Most recently, Dracula Untold star Luke Evans, who was attached, had dropped out, leaving the project to look elsewhere. The movie is based on the cult comic book series created by James O'Barr, which had its initial live-action film starring the late Brandon Lee debut in 1994. Dennis, buy or sell Jack Huston as the lead in the Crow reboot?
I buy it. I loved him on Boardwalk Empire as Richard Harrow, a.k.a. Half-Face. It wasn't a lead role. That's, I think, my only concern is he's a great supporting character. We haven't seen him in a lead role yet, and this would be one. I'm more concerned about the revolving door of actors and directors on this project. And I'm quite surprised because I really like the Brandon Lee one from 1994. But I'm surprised a property like this has gotten so much attention and legs to it, because the first one was like a modest hit, and it's been a long time. They had a sequel that didn't do very well, and then a bunch of direct to DVD. I feel like the property itself has been kind of tarnished in a way.
Yeah, I sell the idea of a reboot, but I buy Jack Huston because he's one of the people that is on all the lists of people to watch. He's been in small roles, so it is kind of a risk to put him in a lead role like this. I remember him in Kill Your Darlings, where he played Jack Kerouac, and he was great. Small role in American Hustle as well. Haven't seen Boardwalk Empire, but I want to see more of what he can do. I don't like the idea of a reboot. It sounds... It's always scary when you hear a director leaving and then this actor coming aboard, the actor leaving. Doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be a bad movie, but it just makes you worried about the project in general. The Crow Curse? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to, as I hesitantly bought the last one, I'm going to hesitantly sell this one. Small roles in the other films. So the lion's share of my exposure to Jack is in Boardwalk Empire. Mario's just talking like this a lot. So I really have no gauge or sense of, could this guy be the Crow? I just don't know. And you're right, the biggest concern here is this revolving door. I thought they had a great guy in Luke Evans. I thought Luke Evans was the guy. If you're going to do a Crow remake, Luke Evans, I thought, was the guy to do it. I think he just brings all the qualities that you want and all the tools in his belt to a role like this. It was really unfortunate with that derailed. Now, we're going to know a lot more about this because Jack is going to be, he's playing Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
Right? So once I think we get a chance to see him put a movie on his shoulders and carry it and see how he does there, that'll influence a lot about what I think about him in The Crow. Won't know much more until then, so until that time, I'm going to sell it.
I think Jack Huston is such a talented dude, and for that reason, that's why I'm going to sell this, because I don't want to see him do something like The Crow. I mean, we're all talking about how I love the first Crow movie. It was such a great, gritty, it had that 90s feel to it, the soundtrack, what Brandon Lee was able to do with that role. And now it's just been through so much stuff. I don't want to see somebody who has the talent of a Jack Huston be in that role, because I think that a lot like what happened with Luke Evans in Dracula Untold. Luke Evans has a lot of talent. Dracula Untold wasn't a good movie, and I hated seeing him have to go through something like that. I want to see Jack Huston be in great films, and I don't think that you can do that right now with The Crow in its current state.
All right, what's next?
A new character poster for the highly anticipated Marvel movie Avengers Age of Ultron has hit the web. The first one featuring Iron Man was released a few days ago. This time, the Hulk takes center stage in this image, which is part of a larger team poster. John, buy or sell the poster?
Oh, I gotta buy it. I'm gonna buy anything that has, and I love me some Hulk. So anything that has to do or is connected with the Avengers, I'm gonna be really excited about. What is really neat about these posters have been coming out, though, was that first one, that new Age of Ultron poster that came out. The most interesting thing to me, and the first thing I asked a buddy I was with, was, I wonder how many angry phone calls Robert Downey Jr. made after he realized he wasn't standing in front of the, because in this new post, it's Captain America standing in front with slightly behind his shoulders Captain America. And Hulk, I mean, you put Hulk anywhere, he'll be the centerpiece of the poster to me. So I love this image. For me, it's a buy. Alicia?
He looks like he's about to arm wrestle, right? And the neck strain. But I like it. I buy it because it looks scary. The Hulk looks menacing there. And I love the look of him in this poster. And also, it's really clever the way that they've been releasing these posters and the artwork in general. I think they've done a good job on it. So I buy it. It's cool.
Des?
I'm dying to see the movie, but I sell this poster.
Oh, no.
It's not a bad poster or anything. It's the Hulk. He looks cool. It's just this is part of a larger team poster, but they already did that at Comic-Con. Remember?
Well,
right? During Comic-Con, they did that team poster and they released it. I'm like, okay, that was really cool. Now they're doing it again. So I just kind of was looking for something different.
Yeah, because we're using metaphorical Monopoly money, I'm going to buy this. I mean, it's a neat poster. The Hulk is not my favorite of the Avengers, but in the first Avengers, he stole a good portion of that movie. When you look at this poster, he looks poised to do the same thing. I mean, that's how I want the Hulk to. I don't want the Hulk smiling. You know, I want him to look angry. He looks really upset. That's who the Incredible Hulk is. Let's see this movie.
All right, folks, we reached that part of the show for Mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, you can send in your questions. Maybe you'll see them answered on Movie Talk. Maybe you'll see them answered on Mailbag. But listen, if you're watching us live right now, we're going to take a couple of minutes at the end of the show, take some of your live Twitter questions, too. So if you're watching live, you can tweet in a few questions to @AMC Movie News. For now, let's get to the Mailbag. So, Sinead, what's in there?
Adrian writes, Disney is taking their animated classics and turning them into live-action films, such as Maleficent and Cinderella. So, my question is, what Disney classic would you like to see get the live-action treatment? Mine would be Aladdin or Pinocchio. Or should Disney not do this at all and just stick to animation?
Oh, no, they should absolutely do it. If they think they've got a great idea for something that can translate well into a live-action environment, do it. Doesn't matter if it's been done before. And it's really funny that you mentioned that in your email, because I've been saying for years, I think a live-action Aladdin would look spectacular. You'd have to get the right talent, and there's no getting around it. Once the genie arrives, I'm just going to be in a 5-minute depression thinking about Robin Williams. But then we'll get past that. You cast this right, the visual effects today could carry something like this. I think it would be wonderful. But that aside, just in general, I think the idea, if you can make a good live-action movie, if you think you can do it right, go for it. Anyway, what do you think, Mark?
Sure, just don't do Fantasia, because I hate that movie. We already have we got 2 Jungle Books in the works. We have a Beauty and the Beast in the works. So apparently this is going to keep happening. What scares me is the Aladdin thing, the genie thing, is really what would hold me back from greenlighting an Aladdin film, because you just can't replace what Robin Williams was able to bring to that role of the genie. If you rework the lore, maybe you can get away with it. I think Sleeping Beauty would have been a great choice, but what they did with Maleficent, now it's like, oh, when she turns into the dragon at the end of Sleeping Beauty, I'm kind of going to feel like, well, she's got reasons. You know? I don't want to see that. So I think I'd probably have to, by default, say, The Little Mermaid. Let's do The Little Mermaid.
Oh, actually, that's not a bad one, too.
You could get Daryl Hannah to play her mom, you know?
Dennis?
They're going to make them because they make money. I mean, look at Maleficent, look at Alice in Wonderland, all these live-action adaptations. They're going to do it. Little Mermaid's one, I think Mulan. I think both of those are kind of in development. Like, I don't know if they have a script or anything like that, but I think they're working on them. The one thing you have to do if you do these live-action ones is you have to pick stories that involve a lot of human characters. You can't do Bambi or even The Lion King, because at that point you're going to be using a lot of CG, and you might as well just make a 3D CG movie.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I loved what they did with Maleficent, because they took a villain and then humanized it, and it was something that we hadn't seen before, so I'd love them to keep doing that and do a whole series of Disney villains. One of my favorite Disney villains is Ursula from Little Mermaid, but I mean, it'd be really hard to do a Little Mermaid because it's all under the sea. And Ursula has her eels, and I don't know quite how they would do that, but I would love to see her story. I want to know her backstory, what she got that way.
If they did the Maleficent way, by the end, Ursula will be a good-hearted woman who just goes back to her true roots of being the good guy after all. Getting back to the Robin Williams thing, I'm going to contradict myself a little bit here, because I remember a couple of years ago I was at Disneyland, and we went in to watch the live stage show of Aladdin, and I remember the dude who played the genie, when they do this at Disneyland, they ad-lib a lot of stuff too, and they make it their own. And I remember just watching a guy on stage dressed up as Genie doing his thing. I remember he was wonderful, and he wasn't just mimicking Robin Williams at the same time. And I remember thinking, wow, this guy could have been the Genie too. So maybe I could eventually see somebody else play Genie. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. All right, what's next?
Tyler Moore writes, Hi, AMC Movie News crew. I love the show and watch every day without exception. On the Oscars after show, a few members of the crew mentioned that Birdman winning Best Picture was the first time in a while that their favorite film of the year won Best Picture. So my question is, when was the last time your favorite film of the year won Best Picture? Birdman not included.
It's kind of interesting, because I often say there's a difference between what is your favorite and what you think is the best. So if you put in front of me a bowl of vanilla ice cream, pure, simple, wonderful vanilla ice cream, and you put on the other side of me Chef Gordon Ramsay's beef Wellington, which, by the way, if you're in Vegas, go to Chef Ramsay's restaurant and order the beef Wellington. And if you were to ask me which is my favorite, it's the bowl of vanilla ice cream, actually. But if you were then to ask me which one is the better dish, well, clearly it's the beef Wellington, right? And the same is true of movies. Sometimes we have movies that we'll see, yeah, this has this problem, but for whatever reason, because all film is subjective, it strikes me the right way, and thus is my favorite, right? So it's hard to say. I think maybe the last time that on an emotional level, my favorite movie of the year also ended up winning Best Picture of the Year might be as far back as Gladiator. There's a lot of films that I thought were the best films of the year and did end up winning the Best Academy Award, but on a pure, visceral, emotional level, my favorite film that year winning, probably Gladiator. What about you, Mark?
I got a lot of top fives. I got like Argo was in my top five. The King's Speech was in my top five.
I take it back. King's Speech. That was the last one.
King's Speech is a great film. So I think I've been pretty lucky that most of the films that have won Best Picture, like Birdman, was also in my top five. But as far as favorite of the year, that's really tough. And I don't want to say Titanic. So I might say Gladiator.
Even though it is.
Gladiator was up there. Braveheart is way up there for 1996. And I think Unforgiven, I think what's up there, and I think that came out in 93, I believe. 92, that's right, yeah. So that might have been my favorite year, 92, because I don't think there was a good Van Damme movie that year.
Alicia, what about you?
Well, yeah, often my favourite films of the year are up in the Best Picture because that's usually my jam. Those kind of movies, like, yeah, Argo was in my top five, 12 Years a Slave, The Artist as well. But probably the last time my favourite of the year one was 2009, not that long ago, with The Hurt Locker. That was my favourite film of that year, and I was so excited when that one won, particularly over Avatar. It was cool.
For me, yeah, it's actually Unforgiven, 1992. I mean, a lot of the ones that have won over the past few years or last decade or so, they have been in my top 5 or top 10, but they just weren't my favorite ones. A lot of the ones that were my favorite don't even get nominated, like Mud, Lawless, A Prophet, the year Hurt Locker won, Moon. That was my favorite movie that year, didn't get nominated. So for me, yeah, it's been a long time.
All right, folks, well, I said we leave a couple minutes for some of your live Twitter questions. We're going to do that right now. So, Sinead, what have you picked out for us?
Gavin tweets, "Hey guys, great show. What happened to the Ripley's Believe It or Not movie? Is it dead in the water? Thanks."
As far as I know, it's dead in the water. But I remember being like, really? But think about that. A Ripley's Believe It or Not, you could kind of go the same route that a TV version of Friday the 13th went, or even like a Twilight Zone, where you could make very isolated, episodic movie installments based on something like that. It could have been cool. But I think they just kind of thought the financial realities weren't there for it. Look, for all I know, some dude at Warner Brothers right now is getting ready to sign the paper that puts it in production. But I have heard nothing about it in a while. Have you guys heard anything?
No.
I haven't heard anything. Sounds like a better TV series. Like you can have the intro like Tales from the Crypt, where you're going around all the different stuff that you're looking at. Oh, what's this week's story going to be about? So I'd watch it on TV.
It's also something to me that was much bigger in the 80s than it is nowadays. I don't know if a lot of the younger generation know what that is.
No, I only know it from Hollywood Boulevard, right? There's
Yes.
a Believe It or Not museum. I don't know if it came to Australia in the same way. So, yeah, I don't know much about it.
You could kind of go in the same route that they did with it's The Conjuring and Annabelle were the connected films, right? Yeah. Where you have that couple and you've got that room of theirs that has all that supernatural stuff, and it feels like each movie of their franchise is going to be addressing the story of one of those. Sounds like that's what they could do, but yeah, I haven't heard anything more about it. All right, what's next?
Esteban says, "Would you guys like Disney to remake the Star Wars prequels?"
No! 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 Just let them die. I don't know.
I would. If they got the right director, they redid the whole. They never will.
No,
they never will. But in my fantasy world, some awesome director would come in, they rewrite the scripts, recast everything, and redo it, and then I'd have a better memory of the prequel.
So we feel the same way.
Yes.
It's just that I think the cure is a
Ignore
good
it.
bottle of something strong and forget about it. And your cure is just redo them.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Alicia?
Yeah, I like the way they're going now with the episodes going forward and then the standalone films. I don't need to see those prequels again.
Yeah, I don't think, no. Just I agree with John's. No.
I know people love the prequels out there because we always get a lot of comments. They're fans of the prequels, but for me, no.
That's the great thing about movies. That's the great thing is one thing you can think is the best thing ever, somebody else hates, vice versa. I mean, that's the most wonderful thing. All right, let's take one. This is going to be the last Twitter question we take from the Stream.tv studios. I just realized that. Okay, Sinead, make it a good one. No pressure.
Yeah, for real. Okay, so Brian asks, is Rise of the Planet of the Apes the sequel to Wahlberg's Planet of the Apes? I've always been confused about it.
No, it's a completely separate thing. It's a completely separate universe, unless you guys have heard anything
No,
different.
it's totally different.
Totally
And,
different.
I try to bury that Wahlberg one deep in the back.
You didn't
of
like
my-
the ape Abraham Lincoln or whatever that
No.
was?
I miss Abraham Lincoln. I was like, hey, look, it's a monkey version of that guy. And then somebody said, no, they're apes, not monkeys. And then that movie was ruined for me. So, nope, it's not no lore is
No.
combining in those films at all.
There's the rumors that that's where they will be heading eventually to connect all the dots, but I don't know if that's going to
What
happen.
about a Mount Rushmore of apes? How cool would that be?
That'd be so cool.
All right, folks. Well, that will do it for us for this installment of AMC Movie Talk. And as I mentioned before, this is our final episodes that we'll be doing at the Stream.tv studios. You know, I mentioned something about this last week, but it bears repeating. When we were in the midst of some really great growth with AMC Movie Talk, we needed some stuff to help us go to the next step. And we were contacted by the Stream.tv studios here and Susan, who's reached out to us. And we partnered up and started shooting our shows here. And they have been such gracious, wonderful hosts for us to come in here every day and do AMC Movie Talk. And also we've been doing AMC Indie Spotlight from here as well. Yeah. So to the crew here at the Stream, from Susan and Lorna to the tech guys who've been with us, I think right from the beginning, and Austin doing our sound, and Steven taking care of all the images and visuals that you see. This is just a terrific group of people. We have been very lucky and honored to work with these guys, and we look forward to doing more stuff with them in the future as it goes. But the time came for us to move into our own studios, which is why I have huge bags under my eyes that we have been working on nonstop around the clock for a very long time, and we're going to leave the studio and go right back over there and keep working. So you're going to be seeing new shows from there heading in the future. We can't wait to show you our new facilities. But one last time. If you have our content creator and you're looking for a partner to help you bring your vision to life, look up the Stream.tv and see what they can do for you, because this is a great group of people. So I want to thank the guys sitting at the table with me. First of all, sitting over here on my left, Mr. Christian Harloff. Oh, no, wait. Mr. Mark Ellis. Mark, where can people find you online?
You can actually find me and Christian Harloff this weekend at Long Beach Comic Con. We'll be there on Sunday. Online, it's at 5150 Ellis on Twitter and Instagram, and I echo John's sentiments. Thanks, everybody, the entire crew of the Stream, for making this such a fun job to do.
You know, Anne's going to the Long Beach. She's going because she wants to test out her Han Solo outfit for Comic Con.
Oh,
she wants to
cool.
test it out at Long Beach.
Oh,
So she's
wow,
going to be there.
Awesome.
Of course, Miss Alicia Malone. Alicia, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Alicia Malone. Thanks to everyone at the Stream and everyone out there. Go see 71 this weekend. It is brilliant.
Mr. Dennis Zen. Dennis, where can people find you?
I also want to thank all the guys at the Stream. They've been fantastic to work with, and they work really hard. You can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero and on Instagram, dennis.tzeng.
And of course, our lovely host today, Miss Sinead DeFries. Sinead, where can people find you?
I am on Twitter and Instagram at Sinead DeFries and at thatsosinead.com.
And you can find me on all the various social media networks, on Twitter and Facebook, wherever, just at John Campia. So, thank you so much for joining us, guys. My name's John Campia for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.